Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So I've just thrown together a quick Sunday morning video for you guys, and it's because I was sent this. So big shout out to David Jews. I actually ended up buying the Tamiya vintage Astute from him. Astute, madcap, I apologise, and he sent me this with it. Now, this is basically a modern day Tamiya guidebook. Now I am going to be doing a future video on the vintage guidebooks quite soon, but I just thought we'd make a little video of this because I didn't really know this kind of sort of catalogue publication kind of existed. So I jumped on eBay to have a look, and there's quite a few of these for sale, obviously over different years. Now, it's not called the Tamiya Guidebook, they call it the Tamiya RC Lineup, and it's Volume 1, 2011, so it's not vintage. And again, as I say, when I looked on eBay, these things are selling for around about 25 to 30 quid, so they're quite dear. Whether anyone would pay that for them, I've no idea. But yeah, just like we did with the magazine, to be honest, the vintage race car magazine, I thought we'll go through it because there's some interesting, there's some stuff that interested me within this. A lot of cars and chassis I didn't really know existed, but you just don't really see. So let's open it up and have a quick look at it. So let's get into it. Loving the cover. Obviously it's 2011 when the Riri Avanti came out, so it's plastered all over the front. We all know that's a thing of beauty. So as I say, Tamiya RC Lineup Volume 1. So interestingly, I wonder if they do more than one volume over the 1 year. Kind of looks like they do. And this covers touring car, buggy, truck, tractor, truck and tank. Right, so again, on the opening page, you got a full spread on the 2011 Avanti. And it's good. It's a little interesting read, to be honest. Second page, we've got a nod to the Stadium Blitzer. And then down here, Comeback Kids. I just had a quick read of that, and it's basically saying, obviously, Tamiya are redoing all the great buggies. So the one thing I found interesting within that is, obviously, you got the Buggy Champ Frog, Hotshot Boomerang. But we've put the Holiday Buggy 2010 in there. Now, as we all know, that ain't no holiday buggy. That's just a DTR2. But yeah, I thought that was a little bit out of place. Next up, we've got a full spread, and they're calling it Rookie of the Rear, and that's a Superfighter GR. Again, that's just a basic DTR2, but it does have a hard body shell on it, and it's a bit of a good looking thing, if I'm honest. I had the purple one, the Violet Racer or something it was called, but again, yeah, it's a nice looking thing. The thing I found interesting is when I had just a quick glance at pictures, I thought, oh, that comes with yellow CVAs, that's cool, that's a nice touch. But in actual fact, this big screw here, the friction dampers are just yellow, which is a bit of a shame. Next page, we've got the gorgeous, let me just move this down a little bit. We've got the gorgeous DB01, which you all know I absolutely love, Respect DNA. There's only a little section on that, but as you see on the next page, it gives us a little bit more information about it. And then it's just showing you the Dark Impact DF03, DF02s, and a DTR2. So cool looking cars. I'd like to get a racing. I'd like to get my hands on a Racing Storm for the channel. That's a car I had a couple of. Probably, when will it be? I don't know, 2012, 13, 14 maybe. But I think that's a nice looking car. And we've not had a DF02 on the channel. So back to the DB01 chassis. This page is all the hop-ups for the DB01. Now, why that's cool, why I'm finding this cool is you guys like me probably frequent eBay a lot. Now, when I'm looking for sort of alloy parts, what I put in the eBay search is Tamiya DB01 alloy. And if anything comes up, great. But what I've started doing now is actually using the individual part numbers that Tamiya give you. And I'm starting to find a lot more stuff on eBay. Now, don't get me wrong, there's no guarantees that everything's on there, but I've just bought some turnbuckles for a Top Force. Now, they're not Top Force turnbuckles, they're Bling Tamiya ones, and I've been searching for these turnbuckles for probably a month, never found them. Somebody gave me the correct part number, typed it into eBay, and they were there. So I think it really does pay off to use the actual Tamiya numbers if you're not already. Next page, we've got a little TRF page. Now bear in mind this is 2011, so Tamiya had just won the IFMA 2010 Touring Car World Championship with Mark Reinhardt, and that car was the 416X. In this brochure they're just bringing out the 417, and four-wheel drive off-road buggies. They've just launched the TRF 502X. Now if you don't know your TRFs, that's shaft driven. 501 and 503 afterwards were belt driven. So I would like to get hold of a 502, just because it is shaft driven. And then the Volak Transpeed brushless combo system. Now I've been looking at these for ages for my TRF 503. These motors, although they're all gen brushless motors, they're good enough for what I want, and you can get these bad boys, these Transpeeds, down at 3.5. They're usually around about 120 Canadian dollars on eBay, so you're probably looking about 70 quid, 80 quid to buy that motor. But the problem is, this rebranded Tamiya Transpeed speed controller, it's around about $300 to $350 if you can find one. And that's just way too steep for me. Now, as I said, it is rebranded, so whoever made it, could be LRP, I'm not 100% sure, if you're lucky enough to find one, but I want one Tamiya branded to match the car. So if anyone's out there is watching this, has got that for sale, let me know in the comments. And then we got trucks. Not something I'm really into. A lot of people ask me on this channel if I would consider getting a truck. They're very expensive and they don't do a great deal for me. But yeah, I think if I found one, I would get one. Not very interested in the old American style trucks, if I'm honest. But I do like a look of the Mans and the Scanias. I mean, I'm from Bradford, UK. You know, Scania's a bit of a thing. So yeah, I would have a Scania if I could find one. Whether I'd go to the extent of getting trailers and all that and sound systems, yeah, I don't know. It gets very expensive. Tanks, again, exactly the same. People have asked, get a tank on 1/16 scale, absolutely full of detail, scale looks, but again, very expensive, and there's not a lot I would do with them. Although when I turned onto this page, I did see they did the British Chieftain tank. Now, that's the tank when I was back in the day, when I was building Airfix models and things like that. The Chieftain tank, that was my favourite. So I must admit, after this, I may have a look and see what these are selling at, because that is something I won't mind having a look at. Next up, the high lift stuff. Again, I'm not a massive lover of these. The Tundra's probably the best looking out of the three of them, but that I like. But you get the Hilux high lift, and you get the Ford 350. I personally just think the Tundra just looks better, but it would be nice eventually to get an older one and see what it's all about. F1. So which one's that? We've had this on the channel already, this Merc. This is the F104. Yeah, we did that. We did the shell on it, and we did a running video which proved very popular, even though the surface wasn't great. But very, very, very nice looking thing. Second page is just the F104 again, but the Ferrari version. Pretty cool. And then again, list of hop-ups for it. An F103. Don't know about that one. Limited edition. Again, when I said earlier that I alluded to that there were certain kits, you know, I didn't really know you could get, you know, in a limited edition F103. They also did an F104W in these two variants, the Wolf and the Lotus. Again, didn't really know about them. And then right at bottom, you got a small bit for the F104 Pro, which comes with the hop-ups. Not massively into F1. Crawlers, if you can call a CC01 a crawler, kind of is really. But again, all the different bodies, don't really know a great deal about them. It's not something I'm really interested in, but nevertheless, it's cool to see the different variants they did. And then back onto TTO1 Type E chassis. I like that body shell of Type R Civic, that's really nice. So again, that's just a basic TTO1. A few exploded drawings, but what I like about this is down here, this kit here, I've never seen that kit. So that's obviously the Merc 190E 2.5 litre 16 valve Evolution 2. So the 190 Evo is just a class car. Now, I've never seen that for sale, that version, because obviously that's just a bog standard saloon car, and I really like that. Now, obviously, they've done racing 190s quite recently with different liveries on, so you could buy one of those and do it like that. But I actually would like, so I'm going to have a look out for this kit and maybe set a search up for it, because that is something I would really like to have. And again, it interests me because I've never seen one. And then on the next page, you've just got the different variants in 2011 of the TTO ones they were doing. Nothing spectacular. The BMW's okay, but again, my favourite there is the Lamborghini Gallardo. They do really good money, and that's got the LED kit in it as well. Now, little interesting fact again of a chassis I never knew existed. TTO1R Type E chassis kit. Didn't know that was a thing. And looking at the little picture, it looks like it's got aluminium prop shaft cups. There's a little bit of blue bling here and there. Nothing spectacular. It'll probably come fully ball raced and what have you. But again, didn't know that chassis really existed. Then, I like this page. This is Bling City. So what they've done is they've shown you a fully hopped up TTO1 chassis. Now, again, you know, some of you guys might be rolling your eyes. Oh, it's a TTO1. Yeah, I mean, we're in 2020 now, but obviously this was 9 years ago, and that thing looks pretty epic. But again, what I love about it, all the numbers over the different parts with the exact codes that you need. So, you know, it gives you a chance to get hold of these bits should you want them. And it's not something I would touch, a TTO1 again. I've been there, done that. But again, second page full of the hop-ups for it with the part numbers. Pretty cool. Then we go on to drift, which again, I know nothing about. So the first one they're showing you is a T805 VDF. Now this is an incredibly blingy car. Let me see if I can. This thing, all the alloy, instead of blue, it comes as gold. It's a good looking thing, and it is an out and out proper drift car. And what I mean by that is that you don't just put drift wheels on it. This thing's been thought about by Tamiya. Big bulkhead unit here right at the front of the car for drifting. As a bling thing, I'm not into drifting, but as a bling thing, I'd like to get hold of that. But they do big money right now. And then we've got the TBO3D. Again, didn't know existed. TBO3D for drift. Nothing too spectacular in that picture, but I will come back to that on another page. And then a TTO1D. These are a little bit of a rip-off, I think. We're just sticking drift wheels on them and calling them drift cars, and it's just a basic chassis. And then we got the drift cars from Tamiya. Again, nothing excites me there, unfortunately. The shell-wise, not. I mean, maybe the Nissan GTR. Not a lover of anything else, to be honest. Right. Now, this is what I found interesting. So on this page, it goes back to the TBO3D. Now again, TBO3 shaft driven. The TB chassis for me is a great chassis. But what I found interesting about that was, look at this little radiator it comes with that bolts onto the bumper. I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. I obviously, the drift guys are really into sort of souping these cars up and Fast and Furious type cars. I thought that was a nice little touch, although I don't know how you would do your body around that, or whether it came with a particular body, I'm not sure. And then again, the hop-ups for it. Then we go on to the M series cars. Now 2011, so we're looking at the MO5 and 6 now. 100% going to get the Mini Cooper M chassis on the channel at some point. It's just such an iconic car. Now obviously I don't want it on a 5, I want a really early one, so I'm on the lookout for one of those now. They did the Monte Carlo, I believe, and they did that green one, which I'm not sure what it's called, so definitely on the lookout for an M chassis. Not overly keen on the Fiats they've done. What else is there? And then we've got the MO6 Pro. Again, it's a little bit hopped up, but yeah, that's not really my cup of tea. But again, full page of all the hop-ups for it, and then we move on. Then it gives you front-wheel drive, the FF03 chassis. Never had one. I don't know too much about front wheel drive cars, to be honest. I never had one, so I've obviously never drove one, so I don't know what the benefits are of it, but yeah, it's something different. But again, what I did like, FFR03 Pro chassis, didn't know it existed, and that looks fully blinged up. It's got your TRF shocks and big blue anodised motor plate and what have you. So yeah, I don't know what that kit comes with, but it looks a nice thing. And then we've got the Honda Civic in the rally colours. Nice looking thing. Now, this is a page. This page really interested me. So this is a T805. Now, if you follow my channel, you know that I did all my speed runs with a T805, but mine was fully hopped up. It was basically an MS version. It had the front and back. Well, it had basically every blue anodised alloy Tamiya part you could get. So I'm a big lover of this this car. Great chassis T805, but I moved this on, and just funny enough, just recently I've just ordered a T805 version 2, and that's on its wing. That's winging its way to me as we speak. Now I'm going to do a few things with this car, but I probably am going to dip my feet in the speed runs again for next year. I've got a few goals that I want to hit, and I think this is a car to do it. And that's coming with a Goo sort of Le Mans style GT shell. Now, why I went for this, this has this is the thing I don't understand. I don't know what the difference is between the T805 version 2 and the T805 IFS, because all the IFS stands for is inboard front suspension, where your shocks are fitted like that. So I don't know what other differences they have. They're calling it two different things, so it must come with different stuff. Anyway, that's on its way to me. And then on this page, we have a fully hopped up T805 version 2. So this bit really floated my boat. I was like, can I get hold of these parts? And some I can, some I can't. But I'm going to kind of keep looking, because I would love to do my standard 05 version 2 to a full spec. I would love to do that. It'd be very expensive, but I love how it looks. TRF shocks, things like that I can get. I typed in the front alloy bulkhead number, I can get that, but can't get the big centre blue unit, or it's not on eBay at the moment. And something I found interesting, this big rear bulkhead, the part number's not listed here or on the other page, which I found was quite odd. Now I'm wondering, was that just the same part that was on the standard T805, the one I had, the MS? So maybe I can get that part number that way. But unless I can get the centre section and the rear bulkhead, then it's pointless doing anything else. But I'm going to keep my eyes out, because I think that would be quite a lovely thing to do. And again, full list of all the hop-ups with part numbers. Now that's made, they say on the page it's for the T805 version 2, but there's TB03 stuff mixed in with that. And then a couple of version 2 kits that you can buy. Again, nothing floats my boat there, but the kit I've got coming, which came out after 2011, I think you're going to like it when you see it. And then TB03. Now, as I said earlier, I'm a massive lover of the TB chassis, mainly the 01. Never had an 03. So basically, they've redone it with the inboard front shock system, exactly the same as a TA03. But the main difference is from a TA to a TB. TB is shaft driven, where TA is twin belt. As far as I'm aware, that's pretty much the only difference. Similarities to it. But again, this one, didn't know this chassis existed. TB03R chassis, basically fully hopped up, TRF bits all over, shocks, all the alloy, front and back sway bars. That's a nice looking thing. So yeah, when I'm bored, I might have a look on eBay for that. And then a couple of the TB03 variants it came with. Nothing there that excites me, but I do enjoy the NSX Honda shell. That's quite a nice looking thing, but again, never seen one. And then we've got the TB03 and D version hop-ups. And then we're on to Rally. Now this is interesting, because it's interesting for me, because this is a DF03 RA chassis. Never had one. So it's your basic DF03 that they hopped up, souped up to make it into a rally car. Not too sure that actually works, if I'm honest. It's not like it's an XV01. But what I do like about it is, on this chassis they brought out the Lancer Evolution WRC rally car. Now that's one of my favourite shells from back in the day. So again, I might even have a look to see if you can buy one of them, because I would have this chassis, the DFF03R8, if I could get it, that kit. That would be pretty cool. But as we all know, the DF03 does need a little bit of tweaking from standard to make it last, shall we say. But again, RA hop-ups, that's a fully hopped up one. Pretty cool, I guess, but each to their own, I guess, on that. And then another one I didn't know, they did an M chassis, an M05 as an RA rally car. Didn't know that. Never seen. Obviously I've seen the shell, but I didn't know it was. They did an RA version. And then finally we're getting to the end, which is just the XB cars. Now we've got all the usual suspects there that I know: Pumpkin, Hornet, Frog, Hotshot, Lunchbox, Mad Bull. And then we've got these saloon cars. Nothing there that interests me, if I'm honest. But it's nice that they're still churning these out. And again, XB models, TTO 1 Type ES, which is your ready to run. Now, again, nothing massively there that floats my boat, although the black Evolution 190 is back there as a ready to run kit. So that's pretty interesting. So I might, as I say, I'm going to have a look for that kit after this. And then we've just got the basic part number section of the actual kits. And then the back page is a little nod from the TRF 201 to the new at the time, don't know how you pronounce this, Zahak. So obviously the TRF 201 came out in 2008, so 3 years later on. This is basically a poor man's TRF 201. It doesn't come with a small bore aeration shocks, there's no slipper clutch, probably no bearings for it as standard. But I know a lot of guys at the moment have bought this kit and they absolutely love it. And it doesn't take a lot of money to take that kit to a full TRF 201 spec. And we all know that's an absolute awesome chassis. And that's it. What do you think, guys? Stick in the comments what you think. Do you collect these? It'd be certainly cool to have a full collection of them. They're by no means guidebooks. All the glorious stuff is missing out of this that was in the guidebooks. All the setups and obviously the old pictures and what have you, and just all that sort of Tamiya artwork. And I'm not talking about the cars themselves, I'm talking at the front and the back of the guidebooks, whereas this doesn't have any of that. Obviously it's more modern, but I think nevertheless it's a cool thing to have. So hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thanks so much for watching, it's really appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to support us, and if you do that, smash that notification bell for our weekly videos. And as always, guys, happy RCing.